Originally made for the Sony PlayStation, Klonoa is a pretty standard platforming game in the vein of New Super Mario Brothers, similar to the original Super Mario Brothers as well. It is a game starring a rabbit-like creature. He finds this ring and then evil kind of comes down and he has to save the world. Okay, let's be honest here. You probably really don't care about the story of Klonoa. One nice thing compared to the original version is that there is English in the dialogue boxes and spoken English, which really helped the game to me. I've played Klonoa 2 and I found the kind of gibberish speak annoying, so that extra addition of production is nice. Speaking of the increased production quality, the visuals have gotten a really good rehaul for the Wii. They're 3D, they're crisp, they're clean. There is some aliasing issues, which is kind of to be expected with the Wii system. It's just not powerful enough to make crisp, clean lines, which is kind of a shame. But the really nice thing about this is that Klonoa is such a good game that all that kind of falls to the wayside. It's not the hardest game in the world, but I think that you'll find this simply an enjoyable platformer. For all those people out there complaining on message boards and forums and different sites, if you haven't bought Klonoa yet, it's only $29.99. It is the game that you've been asking for. You should have bought it already, and you should be ashamed if you haven't. It's just one of those things you keep asking for stuff for your Nintendo that's kind of traditional Nintendo type games, and then it comes out and it seems like most people are kind of ignoring the game even though it's getting good scores everywhere, and I'm kind of here just to add some more praise to it. It's not a perfect game by any means, especially on the difficulty is something that I have to go back to, is saying it's not super difficult. It ramps up a bit, and I think you'll find that it's simply enough to really be a pleasant game. It's not going to have you sweating bullets by any means, but as far as something that I can guarantee you're going to buy and play all the way through and want to keep in your collection to play again in the future, it's one of those games. I do kind of wish that they had let you choose difficulty from the start, but I don't think that by the time you finish the game you're really going to be thinking as much about the difficulty of the game as you're going to be thinking about how much you simply enjoyed playing the game. There are some things that change up the action. Boss fights are something that you'll experience every once in a while. They're oftentimes not the most clever bosses in the world, but they're fun enough, and once you figure out the pattern and what you're supposed to be doing, they're relatively easy to beat. One of the biggest assets of the game is the art of the levels. The level design, again, is kind of on the easy side, but the art of the levels is really, really nice. I like the controls a lot. They're very simple. You simply disconnect the nunchuck, turn the remote sideways, and use the buttons like the old controllers. I really like that they didn't go overboard adding a bunch of waggle, wiggle, jiggle your hand around kind of stuff. The thing that I dislike about the Wii the most is that people way overuse that and use it in inappropriate situations, and the developers of the Klonoa knew not to go back and add in that kind of unnecessary addition. Because of all this, I really think you should go out and buy Klonoa right now. It's one of those games that it needs your support, so go out and support it. Thanks. Have a good one.